Okay, for this retro, I'm just going to do a bit of focusing on what the purpose of my refactoring is. I'm currently reading Martin Fowler's refactoring book, and I really like it so far. All of the techniques of, what kind of different refactorings there are, all the recipes, are things that I've been learning and practicing over the last several years anyway, but I've been thinking a lot about the hard problem of knowing when to start refactoring, knowing when to end refactoring. And part of this vague calendar project is going to be just a testing base for me to explore different ideas. Um, I like test-driven development, and I like that there's a clear guide of when you refactor. That's after you get the test green. When to start refactoring. And if I recall correctly, the The original impetus for why you refactor is to remove duplication. That's the major driver in TDD. You hack the code to get it to work, get your test green, and then you remove the duplication. And that was basically the entire scope of the refactoring phase in test-driven development. Then there's also preparatory refactoring. That's something that Martin Fowler talks about as well, and it sort of relates to the Kent Beck quote. Was it Kent Beck or I don't know, maybe it was Brian Kernighan or somebody who said, "Make the change easy and then make the easy change." Sounds like a Kent Beck quote. Anyway, sorry if I misattributed that. The general idea is that you refactor in order to get your code base into a state in which you can easily make the change you need. And that ideally, every change would be easy because you've already refactored the code base that's ready for that change. And so I'm trying to balance up the two of these. Do I refactor after I've hacked the solution in, or do I refactor before to make it so I don't need to hack it in the first place? I've put myself into these constraints of 5-minute sessions, and I just ended one in relative failure. I tried to add a subject to the to a function in the calendar, add event I think it was called. Excuse my throat. And I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get it to pass within 5 minutes. I spent a little bit of talking at the beginning, like I always do, but that wasn't, yeah, it just didn't quite work. I feel like my instinct of doing some prep refactoring would have made it work, but it would have taken a few sessions of preparatory refactoring, I think. I was thinking also another alternative is to, instead of doing preparatory refactoring, and also instead of modifying an existing method which, has an existing parameterized test suite, instead maybe I should have just started with one example with a new add event method. Maybe something like add event with subject. And then I can use TDD to build that method up. And eventually the old add event method is not needed, and I would rename the new add event with subject method to be add event, and I'll delete the old method. I think maybe that's a TDD way of building this new version, because it is like doing a different thing. I mean, previously add event was just incrementing a counter, while this new method has an entire different purpose that's about collecting subjects. So maybe that's a different way to approach it. Something I don't want to give up too quick on, just like avoiding preparatory refactoring. I tried it for 5 minutes and it failed horribly, but I'm going to keep sticking at it. I'm going to try to do this change with minimal preparatory refactoring. It may take me a few videos to get there, but I think it's going to be a good experiment to learn about the different approaches, preparatory refactoring versus, just tiny changes on a new method. Anyway, I haven't added any notes, but that's fine. I'll talk to you later.